The way that I literally feel like my old self is dying in order for my new self to come into this world, like, girl, it's happening. Like, I genuinely think I'm having a spiritual awakening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this week's reading vlog, week 2 of my healing journey. To catch up people who are not familiar with the sitch, what's going on in my life, what is the healing journey for, etc. I've had a lot of difficult, circumstances happen over the last couple months. You can watch my other vlogs if you want more understanding or detail of it. But basically, I'm depressed, okay? And I'm on a journey to heal myself. And I decided that throughout this entire journey, I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I'm reading, the things that I'm doing, how I'm trying to, take it day by day. And just to give a little bit of backstory, I've never experienced this severe of a depression before. We're just getting right into it, okay? I've had anxiety my entire life, and probably little mini bouts of depression here, but very, very mild, low level, very tolerable. This is unable to function, unable to work kind of depression, it's debilitating in a sense. And I am trying my absolute best to take it one day at a time. Yeah, that's what's going on. And I want to share the books that I'm going to be reading this week with you because we are a booktube channel here. And I also want to talk about the theme that I'm going to be focusing on this week. So last week, the theme really was getting grounded and starting a healing journey from a space of calm and peace. And so I really focused on doing activities that I really loved. I started crocheting. I'm going to be making a cute little tote bag with these little granny squares. It's actually so healing. And I know a lot of people on the booktube community love to do crocheting or knitting when they're listening to audiobooks. So I did that. And I've literally been my main kind of couple things that I've been really trying to yes, I did something. Yes, I did something. It's I'm journaling, I'm meditating, and I'm trying to if I don't go on a walk, then I go to a very gentle yoga class. And so it's basic things. It's been literal waves. I had a really low week the entire week last week when I was just trying to tread water a little bit, and then over the weekend had a great weekend. I actually felt so normal, and I'm this is great. And then I'm am I cured? And then yesterday, no, you're not cured. I was back in the pits, okay? So yeah, I'm getting really vulnerable here and telling you my entire journey, but the reason that I'm doing this is not for recognition or pity or anything like that. I think that so many people experience mental health issues throughout their lifetime, and while we are working towards destigmatizing it, I still think we have a long way to go, and I just want to relate to other people on the fact that you're not alone if you are experiencing similar feelings, and we're all on a journey together. And I just want to share this journey with you because it's really hard. It's really hard. I am very much a type of person who I don't want to sugarcoat my life and sit here and pretend that I'm fine when I'm secretly drowning inside. So I'm just bringing you along on this journey. Okay. Okay. So let's get into some of the books that I'm going to be reading this week because, obviously we're a booktube channel and we read here. And I haven't even decided what book I'm specifically picking up next, but I'm just going to give you the options that I have right now. Okay. The book that is honestly calling to me the most right now, but I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to read it, is called The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I just put out my August TBR on Sunday, and people left so many great comments about how impactful this book was. So this book is speculative fiction, and the idea is one day everyone wakes up and everyone receives a little box, and inside the box it tells you how long you have left to live, or the day that you're going to die. Basically, the book faces multiple perspectives from a handful of different people on how they are approaching this information, whether or not they want to know the information, and kind of where they're going from here, and how the world looks after, in the light of people knowing how long they have to live. As someone who is actively going through grief right now, I am really interested in reading this, but I think it's going to be a little tender. I'm a little scared I'm going to be triggered by it, but at the same time, I'm really curious because a lot of the comments on my TBR video were actually discussing how this author details grief in such a great way and really describes and just hits the nail on the head of how grief feels. And I also haven't read a book that's just kind of more straight up fiction relating to our world. I tend to read a lot more fantasy, and I've been really on the nonfiction kick lately, but I haven't read any fiction books specifically that are based on Earth. So this is the one that is honestly calling to me the most out of anything, but I'm going to tell you the other ones that I'm interested in too. If I'm feeling into a fantasy mood, the two books that I'm interested in reading are Silverborn, The Mystery of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is a middle grade book, and it is the fourth book in a series, in the Nevermore series. It's such a wholesome like series, and I think this one is facing like a mystery. Honestly, I haven't read the other ones in years, so I don't really remember where they left off on this. And then if I'm feeling a little bit more adventurous, the other book that I'm interested is Iron Flame, starting the read through for the Iron Flame Onyx Storm. I have not read these books yet, and I'm feeling a little bit like maybe I'd be interested in the fantasy romance, but again, things can get violent in like at least in Fourth Wing. There was some violence, and I just don't really know if I'm feeling something that could be triggering in that sense yet. So I think I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards either like one of these two. While yes, this one could be triggering, it's definitely more pertinent to what I'm actually like experiencing right now. So those are the couple books I'm interested in. As far as my audiobook for this week, I am currently reading a book called The Mountain Is You, which is a book about self-sabotage and how to overcome self-sabotage. I know I am someone who self-sabotages. I just recently became aware of this because most of the time you're not aware of things that you are doing to yourself that are harmful emotionally, but I have been interested in trying to overcome my limiting beliefs. It's by this author named Brianna Weist, who I actually read this like kind of like, it's called The Pivot Year. It's kind of like a devotional, which has like a paragraph every day of kind of like an excerpt of a motivating quote to change your life or something in 1 year. So it talks about like becoming the person that you truly want to be. And I thought that because I really love this book that I was going to like her other one, but I'm not clicking with it. It seems to be quite prescriptive about like, oh, this is your problem and this is why you're self-sabotaging. Here's the thing that you can do to fix it. And the things that do to fix it are like, get on a regular schedule. Make sure your to-do list is all like checked off and proper. Make sure you're eating healthy foods. And I'm like, this does not seem very helpful to me right now. Like, I don't need you telling me how to be more productive in my life when I feel at my lowest low. So I've only about 20% into that book, and I honestly think I'm going to DNF it. It's just not for me right now, and it just feels like a little bit condescending, if that makes sense. Whereas a lot of other self-transformation books that I like to read are a little bit more supportive in how they discuss when you are self-sabotaging or doing like emotional behaviors that negatively affect you. So that is that, but kind of going off a little bit more on the limiting beliefs. I know I've been talking for almost 15 minutes now, but I feel like I have so much to say. Now that I'm at a place where I'm feeling a little bit more grounded in what I'm doing every day, my goal is to start working on limiting beliefs and trying to understand my limiting beliefs and how I can reframe them to become like a better version of myself. And riding off of last week, I mentioned this at the end of the vlog, I have been really, really interested in writing for a long time. And I have this like serious limiting belief that I'm a bad writer because it never came naturally to me in school. I got completely fine grades, but it was not like up to the standards that I usually held myself to. I was like a straight A student. And like when I didn't, like, again, I just like these beliefs are so ingrained into me. And so when I wasn't doing that well in school, I was like, oh, that I'm terrible at this and I should never even try to write anything ever again. So as someone who absolutely loves stories, who loves fantasy, who loves imagining things and coming up with things, I've had this story in my brain for so long that I want to put on paper, but I genuinely have a limiting belief trying to overcome it. So one of my goals this week is to do at least 15 minutes a day of trying to either write or outline or work on this book idea to prove to myself I can conquer my limiting beliefs and I can conquer my fears. So I know this was a really, really long intro, but you know what? We're just going through it here. Okay. We're working through things and life isn't a linear path. And I am just trying to heal myself in whatever way feels the most right to me. And I want to come through this time in my life on the other side as a stronger individual. So that's where I'm at. I hope that you enjoy the journey. And if you are feeling the same way, you are absolutely not alone. I am right there with you. And I hope you guys enjoy the vlog. Bye.
When the moon is bright, the dreams are on your side. stars are lit, they try to catch your eye. Is it destiny or just beginner's luck that I found you?
Hello, we went camping. We're just chilling and enjoying the vibes. I want to give an update on the book I'm reading because I can't keep going on in this book without discussing it. I decided to read The Measure by Nikki Erlich, and while I had some hesitation initially going into it because it is a really heavy topic, I am so happy I'm reading this. This is exactly the book that I need right now. The premise of the book, really quick, is that basically one day everyone wakes up and they have a small little box with their name and address on it. They open the box and there's a string, and the length of the string indicates how long their life is. So people who have really long strings have really long lives. People who have short strings will have short lives. The premise of the book is the moral dilemma that surrounds that whole situation, and it really discusses confronting our mortality as human beings. The way that people and the characters are living in this book, you would think that it wouldn't need to take someone telling you how long that you're going to live for you to take action on your life. Yet we all do this where we don't confront our mortality, and then we just think that we're going to live these really long lives, and you never know how long you actually have. Do you know what I mean? So it's really interesting to see. There's like 5 different perspectives that we're following. We're following a couple where one woman in the relationship has a very long string. The other woman in the relationship has a short string. We're following a man who has a very, very short string where he's going to pass away within a couple months to a year or so. You're following a medical doctor at a hospital, and people are coming into the hospital and saying, I have a short string, yet there's nothing wrong with them. They have no symptoms. There's nothing coming up on scans or anything like that. We're also following the sister to one of the people in the relationship who decides not to look at her string. So it's just like all of these interesting dynamics. And when you confront the reality of your mortality, how do you end up living? So people who have short strings, like it's to 2 extremes. People who have short strings are taking extreme risky actions. Both people who have very long strings and very short strings, but people who have very long strings are taking very like risky measures too, where they're taking a lot of drugs, or they're like going skydiving, or like doing these really risky behaviors because they know that they're going to be okay. But it's not necessarily, you're not going to pass away, but you could end up in like a coma or like something like that, where your body is alive, but you're not having quality of life. So there's this huge moral dilemma with everything, and the governments are getting involved, and some countries are taking away people's boxes so they can't see anything or can't look. But I think like after everything that has happened in my life, and after confronting grief with like how many times in my life I've had to confront it, these are the questions that I am asking. And I'm so thankful for my friend Cass for sending me this book, because I never have heard of this book before. But like, it really makes you confront your mortality. And I am just here for this thought experiment. I think that these are the real questions in life, So I'm on page 70. I'm cruising through it. The chapters are really short. Would recommend. Okay. I'm going to give you an update probably when we're back at home. Okay, bye.
Hi, welcome me back to the vlog. It's been a couple days since I chatted with you. I think I last talked to you guys a couple days ago when I was camping, and so much has happened since then. You guys, literally every single day is like a roller coaster, okay? My mood has been like over the last couple weeks, and it, swear to God, it changes every single day, multiple times a day, okay? Let's just quick chat about where I'm at, what's going on, the book that I'm reading. Okay, I have literally been flying through this book. I'm on page 223 right now, and my God, this book is outstanding. I think I'm probably going to give it a 4 or 5 stars. I think when I first talked to you about this book, I was talking about how important it is for us to remember that we are mortal human beings and how we tend to forget about our mortality within our daily lives, and how I sometimes think that it can be important for us to remind ourselves that we are only here for a short amount of time. And I think remembering that fact can help you take advantage of your life and to do things that really align with who you are rather than waiting to put them off for an unknown time, right? Now, however, this book has really shown how dangerous this could be if we actually know the length of our life. It's been really interesting to see how this book plays out from a political standpoint. There is a storyline in this of a politician who is advocating for people who have shorter strings to not run for political office, to not get drafted in the army, or to get put into combat situations. And there are people who are forcing people to open their boxes and reveal to themselves and to their workplaces the length of their strings. People are getting discriminated against if they have short strings. They're not allowing people to get hired. It's getting harder to get loans or to buy a house, etc. And the way that people with short strings are becoming the political scapegoat is outrageous. It's outrageous. It's like, we already don't have enough discrimination here on our planet, but now they're discriminating against people who have shorter lives. And people are getting emboldened in doing very, very risky behaviors, causing mass violence going on. And it's just so interesting how this book is playing out. And I am so captivated by it. This storyline is incredible. I love all the different characters that we're following, and I'm really interested in seeing where each of these character storylines is going. It is unputdownable. I think this is definitely going to be one of the best fiction books that I've read this year, and I'm so glad I'm reading a fiction-based book again. I have missed books set in our real world, to be honest with you. But overall, probably going to give this a 4 or 5 stars. I have about 100 pages left, and I'm just flying through this. Literally, we spent most of our camping trip just reading and just walking around in nature. It was lovely. So that's the book side of things. Okay, let's talk about the mental health healing journey side of things. Okay. Girlfriend has been through a lot of feelings. Okay. We've literally had normal days, and then we've had total pits days where I am not well. Okay. But over the last couple days, I feel like I've found the next step in this journey. And I'm so happy that I finally have, because it feels like I've just not known really what to do. So let's talk about it a little bit. I actually saw an energy healer last week, and I feel like it was a really cool experience. You definitely have to have an open mind when you think about doing any kind of energy healing or spiritual work in that sense. And, I've been on a spiritual journey. I've talked to you guys a lot about it, but in a lot of kind of self-reflective aspects about my life in this energy work, I keep coming back to having really, really hard time dealing with a lot of fear that I have in my life. I think I talked about this in one of my other videos before. I have a huge issue with controlling things in my life. I don't mind talking about this because I think this is a very common thing. I think a lot of people struggle with control issues in their life, but I very much do. And I tend to exert an iron fist over certain situations in my life, and it's really, really hard for me to arrest control from various situations. And so that results in me, when I have found myself in a situation where I don't have a lot of control, I end up harboring a lot of fear. Okay. Fear of the unknown, fear of what if something goes wrong, fear of a loss of control. There's so many different fears that we all have, but I seem to harbor a lot of fear. Okay. And, I've really been trying to understand what this means for me, and how do I release the fear? How do I overcome the fear? I don't really know how I came to this conclusion, but there's been some reoccurring themes in some of the journaling work I've done, some of the meditation work I've done, where I keep getting this theme of letting go, of surrendering. And it kind of keeps coming back around. And at first, when I was noticing this theme of letting go, I thought it was let go of the past, let go of the things that have happened to you before, which yes, is very important. But I actually think especially today, I was meditating on this, and I feel like I really came to a conclusion that I should actually try and embrace it from a different angle. And that is to surrender to what is. And I used to actually have a really big issue with, well, I mean, I've always had control issues, but of the way that sometimes when people just say, oh, just let it go, surrender it to whatever higher being you believe in. I always thought that, like, no, you are a human being. You can exert action in your life, and you don't have to just say, well, whatever is happening to me is happening to me and I can't control it and I'm just resigning myself to whatever the situation is. No, that's not actually what surrender is. Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about surrender in his book, The Power of Now, which I recently read and I thought it was great. And I went back and reread this chapter about surrender. And rather than thinking of surrender as resigning, in a sense where you're just like giving up, I can never take another action towards my life and I am a victim of my own situations. No, it's actually coming from a place of I can take empowered action and I can look at whatever situation is in my life, look at it and just say, okay, this is the situation. This is what it is right now. How can I either take action to change the situation, or can I accept the situation as it is? All of this to say that when you surrender something in a spiritual sense, you just let things be what they are. You look at the situation for what it is. And if you need to take action, you can take informed action based on that. And I'm basically just trying to embody that right now. This is literally like day one of me trying to surrender. So I've been just surrendering in little ways. Like I was in a yoga class earlier. I was really feeling a stretch. We were in pigeon pose and I was really feeling the stretch. And instead of letting my mind like form all this resistance to it and say, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I hate this. I don't want to be in this position anymore. I just surrendered to the position and I allowed my body to just be there and say, I'm experiencing a little bit of an uncomfortable moment right now, but that's okay with me. And just kind of like a small release, because I know I'm not going to be able to release the big things in my life if I can't release the small things in my life. So I'm working on just releasing control of the smaller things in my life. And again, not in the sense of Jesus, take the wheel. I'm never going to take another action on my life ever again. No, of just, I am letting the situation be what it is. I am accepting it for what it is right now. And if it gets to the point where I'm in pain or like I can't feel my leg because I am sitting on it in a weird way, then I can take action based on that. But that's just like one small example, but that can extrapolate to other big things in your life. Regardless, we're on a journey of surrender. Okay, there is a book that I just put on hold from the library, which is a book from Michael A. Singer, which is called like Living to Surrender or something like that, Living a Surrendered Life or something along those lines. He is the guy who wrote The Untethered Soul, which I read a couple months ago. Loved that book. But this one is talking specifically about surrendering to certain situations and how to do that. Yeah, I'm just really on a journey right now. I'm done creating suffering in my own life. I know it's not as easier said than done, where it's going to take a lot of practice to stop the suffering, but taking it one step at a time. I hope this journey is making sense with you, and maybe there's a sense that you can relate to me a little bit on this, and if you can't, that's also okay too, but maybe it sparks something in you to look inwards more for yourself. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. I'll see you guys in my next clip. Bye. Hey everyone. Okay, check-in for today. Where do we start? Let's just start with my crochet stuff. I have now made 10 granny squares for my crochet tote bag. I have no idea how to make these all come together into one tote bag, and that's going to be an adventure and one that I will need to figure out. But the thing that I really want to talk to you about is it's not an audiobook. It's whatever I'm listening to right now. I guess it's a course by Michael Singer. I found it on Libby. Okay, it's not a book, but it's like a 9-hour course, I guess, where they just smashed all of the sessions together and you can listen to it on your local library. I'm listening to that right now. I'm almost halfway through. And I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I'm waiting to get the book in The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Michael Singer is the author who wrote The Untethered Soul. But now I'm listening to this course, and like once again, Michael Singer does it again. The way he just explains things so succinctly, so just every loop of information is weaved together so beautifully to create such a compelling, just like thread that actually really is helping me understand the root of suffering, why humans suffer, and how we can separate ourselves from the suffering. And there is no way that I'm even going to explain it with justice if I even attempt to, but essentially he discusses how everything that has unfolded in the universe, the Big Bang, the creation of the Earth, the creation of the space, everything, none of that had to do with us, right? Like that's not personal to us. It just is. It is what it is. And through all of this experience that we have in this world, all of the unfolding of the world, how it doesn't have to do with us. Like the world is unfolding as it should be, but we take things and we personalize them and we say there's a disconnect between what we want to happen in the world and what does happen in the world. And that disconnect is suffering, human suffering. And everyone has human suffering. But what's happening is that we have not, as an evolutionary sense, humanity has not been able to overcome the mind in a sense and overcome the fact that we have egos and we want things to go our way and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is where we are in our evolutionary state of humanity at this point. And that is just a really, really short version of it all. And the way that he goes into depth of all of this is so, so beautifully explained. I would highly recommend look to see if you have this on Libby because it's really, really great. And it just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense as to why we suffer. And he's going to I'm about halfway through and he's going to be getting into how we can relieve suffering. I don't know. I would highly suggest looking into Michael Singer's work if you are connecting with the things that I'm saying. It's really, really interesting and I just feel like I'm really resonating with it. So I'll talk to you guys in the next clip. Bye. Back again. It's probably been honestly 4 or 5 days since I've checked in on this vlog. I have just not been feeling sitting down in front of a camera, to be honest with you. I've been in literal isolation mode, and not in a bad way, in a self-introspective way. And I wanted to talk about it. I have not read any more of The Measure, which is the book that I was reading earlier in this vlog yet. I probably have not even 100 pages left. I probably should just sit down and read it because it's a really, really good book. I've just not been in the mood to read fiction. I have actually completely finished Living from a Place of Surrender. I listened to it over the course of 2 or 3 days. And I genuinely feel like I have a different perspective on life now. Okay? Let's talk about it. So Michael Singer, the first half of this course is really going to show you that what happens on the outside world has nothing to do with you. The Earth and the universe has been in its formation for 13 plus billion years, and you have never taken a part in it. This human that you are has never had anything to do with what the universe has done up until this point. So why at this point, why would we think that it has anything to do with us? When I thought about that, I was that in itself, I am someone who is such a major control freak. I want to control every single aspect about my life. I think I was speaking about that earlier in this vlog. And when I think about, the universe has done this for this long without me. Why do I think I can control the universe? I can't. And almost when you come to that realization of I can't control what happens. And not even in a sense of I can't control what happens, so I'm a victim to my situations and I can never even participate in what I'm doing in my life. No. Rather than looking at my life all of this has happened to me, what if I try and flip the lens and think of it more as this is what was meant to come into the world. This is what was meant to happen in the world. What is meant to be will be. And no matter how much I try and exert my control over the situations that I have in my life, Kara, there's a huge, way bigger force at play here than your little ego mind, your little ego self. What if this is all just it's meant to happen in this way? And there are more beautiful things coming for me in the future because of all of the things that have happened to me. Rather than coming at it from a victim mindset, what if I come at it from a mindset of growth and opportunity? And what can I learn from the things that have happened to me? And it also gives me so much hope as there is a positive, there is a reason why all this has happened. This all didn't happen in vain. There's a reason why I have faced difficult situations in my life. And there's a reason why I'm feeling this unhappiness right now and this depression. And maybe I am supposed to be learning from something from this. So I don't know. I feel like I've really just like come into that concept a lot. And then to even take that a step further, the concept of surrender is just allowing things to be what they will and allowing negative energy to just free float out of me. So rather than getting like stuck in the mindset of like being upset with everything and being angry with everything, rather than reacting so negatively to things, just let it be. Just let it be. I think there's an aspect about what I'm talking about right now and the death of the ego. I think that's like actually what I'm going through right now is like a spiritual awakening. Like, I shit you not, like, okay, woo, you can think whatever woo-woo of me, but like the way that I literally feel like my old self is dying in order for my new self to come into this world, like, girl, it's happening. Like, I genuinely think I'm having a spiritual awakening. And I think that's what all of this time is actually meant to show me, is that like I can become like a co-creator with the universe. You're gonna be thinking I am talking whack right now, okay? But I genuinely think that like releasing and relinquishing control of my life in a way where I had to just control every single aspect about my life so vehemently. When I give that up, there is such a weight lifted off of my shoulders. Like, I feel like I am free to just let things be what they will be, and I am a part of it, and my soul is experiencing this human experience. You're gonna think I'm insane, but like genuinely, I've never felt like I have understood my life better than literally right now. Like, I can look back on all of the difficult experiences I've had in my life and point to how they were leading me to the death of control over my life, to the death of my ego mind, to the death of like self-inflated concept of the world. And now I can step into this new part of who I am and just literally be. I can just be in the world. I can be, and if a desire comes and manifests through me, that's a beautiful thing. But like, I can allow my soul to just be in this world. Damn, okay, that was 15 minutes of me going off in a good way. I don't know if any of that made sense to you. If it did, I am so happy it did, but I might have just been talking jarble to you for the last 15 minutes. One thing that I feel like has been paramount during this time is meditation. I've been meditating for like a minimum of 30 minutes a day, and the way that like the quieting down of the mind and just allowing your spirit and your soul to exist in this world, to watch the way that your body breathes, to listen to the birds, to feel a cool breeze on your face, literally life-changing. So beautiful. It is so freeing to allow that part of your mind that just is the constant commentary in the background, putting you down, making yourself, making yourself hate the situation that you're in, letting that part of your mind just go, which is not easy to do and it takes a really long time, and I'm not even that great at it yet, but like letting that go and just existing. Stunning. If anything you can take from this clip, listen to that course or that audiobook. Listen to Living from a Place of Surrender, and like things may change for you. If you have any interest in any of these things that I'm talking about, here's the books that I'm going to recommend. I would recommend The Power of Now. I would recommend Untethered Soul and or Living from a Place of Surrender. I would also recommend Your Cosmic Purpose. I thought that was great. And meditation. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Hey. I decided to film an entire vlog in the span before I finished this vlog. So this is just me coming back and saying I have not finished the measure yet. I'm probably going to finish in a little bit, but this is just the closing of the vlog, okay? I have like moved on to a really feel like a new and exciting chapter in this healing journey, which I have completely filmed a first vlog for already, and I'm so excited for you guys to see that. I am full on starting this writing journey and I'm doing it. So I just wanted to like formally close out the vlog. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope wherever you are having peace, love, and light in your world. And I will see you guys in next week's vlog, which is so exciting. Okay, bye.